Hello everyone and welcome back to the box office! You guys, we just had the biggest Thanksgiving week box office ever in history, shattering the 2018 record by over $100 million. $422 million was made over the 5-day Thanksgiving holiday. That is fantastic. We are so back. The box office and going to the movies is so back. At least it feels that way for now. You know, the ebbs and flows of moviegoing have been crazy in these post-COVID times. But we should all be very happy with that number. Now, the charts that we're going to dive into are only for the weekend, just because I like to do the weekend charts, but I will also provide some extra context as to how the movies did over the Thanksgiving holiday as well in that 5-day period that I mentioned. But for now, let's dive into the weekend chart numbers. Moana came in number 1, even on the weekend, even though it opened on the Tuesday. Made $135.5 million just on the weekend, which is cuckoo bananas crazy. Wicked came in second, making another $80 million, only dropping 29% from week 1 to week 2. For a movie that opened over 100, that is insane. Insane hold for Wicked. Gladiator II came in third in its second week, making another $30.7 million, only dropping 44%. Another solid drop. Speaking of solid drops, look at the rest of the top 5 here. Red 1 came in fourth with another $5.1 million, only dropping 2%, literally 2. And the Best Christmas Pageant Ever came in fifth, making another $3.2 million, dropping only 4%. Those holiday movies did well. I had a feeling that that could happen. I brought it up that it was a possibility that some of the holiday more driven movies would do better, and they did. They had very small drops leading into that weekend. And with that down, let's go ahead and dive into the kind of big, serious numbers of this, shall we? Look at it more deep and provide some of that context of that holiday week. Here we go. Moana 2, so far worldwide, has already made $386.3 million, which is $386.3 million more they would have made had it been a streaming show like it was originally planned. Domestically of that is $221 million, and that is the context. That is the full amount it has made from just opening from Tuesday of last week all the way through now. By the way, those were the Sunday estimates that I showed. I will put in the final Monday numbers in the description below once they are available. But absolutely insane opening run for Moana 2. Just crazy. And the budget isn't listed here, but I've read from a couple different sources that it was around $150 million. We're already well into profitability regarding that, at least for the most part. Maybe it's just starting now, but Moana 2 has nothing to worry about when it comes to profitability. They are absolutely crushing it. Congrats to Disney on Moana 2. Hopping over to Universal for Wicked, it now has $359 million worldwide. Crazy total again for a movie that cost $145 million. It's already at 2.5. We've hit that magical 2.5 number. Now, of course, realistically, with a movie like Wicked and the amount of money it spent marketing, it likely has to get a little bit more for profitability, but I'm going to start counting it as of now that pretty much every dollar it makes from this point forward is going to be profit for Wicked. Just amazing run that they've had, and as it opens more internationally, it might even do better there, but I continue to suspect that we'll have strong holds domestically. It has been killing it. The word of mouth is great, and it's a great movie, so I'm glad it's doing very well. Congrats to Wicked again. Gladiator II, another movie doing solid. We have 3 movies doing great, which is just fantastic. It now has $320 million worldwide, 111 of that being domestic, 208 of that being international. The budget's not listed. As we mentioned last week, I've heard reports of everywhere from like 200 to 250. I've just been assuming a 225 number, and with that, it still has a while to go for profitability, but it's looking more and more likely if it continues to have the small drops that it does like last week. So I'm hoping to see Gladiator 2 also perform well in the coming weeks. We'll have to see how it does with competition, but it looks like these 3 movies aren't going anywhere, at least for the most part. Red 1, unfortunately, even though it did very good last week, considering it only dropped 2%, it would have needed a 2% hold every week it came out in order to be really successful. It's only made $148 million worldwide so far on a production budget of $200. It's going to be a money loser when it comes to theatrical. We'll see how it does streaming-wise, considering it is an Amazon release, and they probably are just kind of hoping on streaming revenue anyway, but it is going to be a money loser theatrically only, if you look at it in that regard. And for the Best Christmas Pageant Ever, Worldwide box office only at 32 million, although I don't imagine this movie cost a whole lot to make. I don't have the budget, and I can't remember exactly what it was when we first started reporting on the movie, but again, I don't think it was that much, but I also think the studio did want to see more than 32 million in regard to that, but hey, you win some, you lose some. At least it was in the top 5 for the holiday weekend. So then the releases I'm aware of coming out next week are going to be Y2K, Night Bitch, and Flow, that animated film. I don't foresee any of them doing crazy numbers in sort of the top 5. And if I look at the final number again here, I think the lowest one with Christmas Pageant was 3 million. That could probably be beat by somebody. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. For my predictions, I think that it's going to be Moana 2, Wicked, and Gladiator II again in the top 3. Fourth, I'm going to go with... I'm going to be bold here and say Y2K, and then I'll go Red 1 in 5th. I think that's realistic. I don't think that Best Christmas Pageant ever is going to be in there, and I don't think that Night Bitch and Flow are going to be over the 3 million opening, considering I think their releases are limited, and the marketing, at least for Night Bitch, has been a bit odd, and I don't know how it's going to do financially, but that's going to be my predictions for now. What are your predictions? If you're right, I'll shout you out on the show. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.